Hey, it's James Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. People either love or hate me because I'm just no nonsense about this. I'm not fake. I'm not phony. I'm not going to pretend that this legal strategy or that legal strategy what works. I'm not going to go in and kiss ass of an attorney, a judge, a guardian ad litem, or anybody. The court system, all you need to do is be a fan of law and order. You don't need to be a legal scholar to realize the court system is the forum where you get to go in and battle and fight for the truth and call a spade a spade. You don't go into court to pretend, you go into court to prove that somebody's a murderer. You don't go into court to become friends with a judge or friends with the jury. You go in to convince them and you use overwhelming evidence. For some reason, we've got sidetracked in family court. Oh, it's all about kissing butt and doing this and doing that. I just talked to a guy. He got every other weekend. His attorney promised 50-50, and he said, you don't want to go for full custody. That'll make you look bad. That'll make you look bad to go for full custody when the mother has abused the child or has a history of alienating the child? That doesn't make any freaking sense. And then I get up here and say it doesn't make any freaking sense. And a bunch of little punk ass, sissy little pussy bitches of men go, oh, you can't do that. Oh, my lawyer says this and my lawyer says that. If your lawyer told yourself to cope with your depression of the family court, if your lawyer told you go home and cut yourself, would you do it? Seriously, would you do it? Of course you wouldn't. You would say, what the hell is wrong with you? And see, that's just as stupid to me as saying, oh, you can't go for full custody. You can't go for 50-50. Don't attack the mother who's a mentally ill, suicidal maniac who abused the child and is now alienating the child. Don't go in there and tell the courts the facts of your case. That's insane. The courtroom is the forum and the arena to battle it out. It's a competition. The words that we use, oral argument, persuasive argument, confronting witnesses, impeaching and interrogating witnesses, prevailing party, everything is a competition. If you've ever watched a court-related movie or law-related movie or TV show, the attorneys are in there hammering away at the witness and arguing, and your attorney is saying, sit down and don't do that. Why? Because we have pussy-ass bitches with this spell called Jezebel feminism that's cast over the entire Western civilization that caused these fruity little gay boys, sissy little Mitches of male attorneys to say that, and the rest are radical feminist females. And I worked at a law firm, McKinley Irvin in Seattle. Many of the attorneys would say off the record in the court, in the hallways at the work office, man, if the father would have done that, he would have been crucified. They acknowledge the bias in the system, but then they go into the courtroom and they pretend it doesn't exist. And the people who are going to change the culture of the courtroom are the attorneys, but they're never going to do it. That's why it's better if we fathers represent ourselves and go in there and tell the court, why don't you believe the science and the data? We just shut down the whole world for COVID. Why? Because we're supposed to believe the science, which has turned out to be total bullshit now that we're looking at it. I know it was bullshit then, but everybody's such a punk ass bitch in this society. They want to obey our fascist governors and our fascist doctors like Fauci, who have a history of botching the AIDS virus and basically funneling it, and basically experimenting on gay people with it. Anyway, such a bunch of sheep in this country. It's sickening. When you're somebody who cares about truth and justice, you get sick of people being fake. You get sick of people being phony. You get sick of people hopping the bandwagon. Oh, this is the latest fad and this is cool, and it's utter bullshit. You get sick of politicians saying, oh, we're going to do something about race. And you never hear anybody talk about Amadou Diallo or Khalif Browder. You never see politicians who were talking about around 2020, they were talking about racial issues and racial tension, and we're going to do stuff about racism. Did they revisit the Amadou Diallo case? If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up. If you don't know or don't care, then shut the F up and don't ever talk about racial issues. So everybody is fake. Everybody is phony. I don't want to be fake and phony like everybody else. So when I come up here and call the bullshit on 50-50 Dads or the Father's Rights Movement or Dad Talk Today or Judge Anthony, all the fake phony bitches out there who are just lying and bamboozling people into just hopelessness and there's no hope, when I won in court, see, I'm up here sharing an actual real life experience. I actually won in court. I like real life stuff. I'm not fake and phony. I went to court and I fought all out and I didn't know what I was doing and I happened to win doing that. I accidentally stumbled upon the formula that works and I show people my winning court orders in my flow page. And fathers who pretend they care about their kids are such lazy ass bitches. They don't go look at my flow page and they just criticize me for not knowing what the hell I'm talking about. And I have trophies. I've won in the Court of Appeals twice. I actually could have won at least 2 more times, but I just didn't have the time and energy to deal with it because I was raising my daughter and didn't care to win a petty issue and just be able to say na 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 na. In the end, some of this stuff is a waste of time and energy. I only cared about the real issues like fighting off bogus restraining orders and getting my kid for the most part and winning contempt. It's mind-boggling that you guys would actually believe the bullshit. And when your attorney says, oh, we can't go to court and fight hard, and you can't even go for custody, and you know your child is in danger under the mother's care, and she's got a boyfriend who raped somebody or something, whatever the scenario is, you know the child is better off with you, and you won't fight for that. And why won't you fight for that? Because some pussy ass bitch made attorney tells you not to fight for it. And you just obey them like a little bitch yourself. And then some of you are going to get hurt because I said that. Am I putting your name, address, and phone number on here? If you're hurt by saying that, when you throw a rock into a crowd, the one that gets hurt is the one that gets hit is the one that barks. It's because you need to check yourself. What you're doing is wrong. And just because everybody does it this way, this is what the attorneys do. I stood up to attorneys who told me you can't do this and you can't do that. The short period of time when I did get an attorney, when I thought I was going to trial, the second time I went to court on a relocation case, I made him do everything that I said. And it turned out, since I was writing all the paperwork and telling him what to say, and at some point he wanted to surrender, and I went to the Court of Appeals on a motion for discretionary review to fix something. And he was impressed with me. I realized that these attorneys ain't shit. And so I'm telling people that, and you guys still won't believe it. And you guys are still scared. You see my winning orders. You see my winning cases. You see proof of testimonials of other guys doing it. And I was a warehouse worker who flunked out of college. And you still cry like a little bitch. Can guys really win? And then I have guys who don't listen to a thing I say. They talk with me. Then they turn around and talk to CPS, the clerk at the court, the mediator, all these other people who are part of the corrupt system. And you listen to every single one of them. And then you get royally screwed. And then your dumbass, punk ass, little sissy coward ass comes to me and says, James, fix it. You were right all the time. Why didn't you listen to a winner in the first place? See, this is insane from every angle. The court system is insane. The judges are insane. The lawyers are insane. And you guys following these stupid ass idiots who don't give a shit about you, and you give them tens of thousands of dollars, that's even more insane. You guys can go to court and lose the way you're losing for free. Why don't you at least do it for free? But your dumbass is all happy with spending $20,000 on an attorney. Oh, I lost, so let me just try another attorney. And spending $20,000, and you go through 4 or 5 attorneys, and you still think you need an attorney. Wake the frick up. Aren't you sick of losing? Aren't you sick of people telling you, oh, you can't go into court and call the mother a suicidal maniac who threatened to blow up the children and herself because that'll make you look bad? How does it make you look bad to talk about the misconduct of somebody else? The only way the court system is going to change if father after father goes in there and calls a spade a spade. We go in there and pretend that what's going on isn't going on. We pretend that the mother is okay. So then the court system keeps going and churning the way that it's churning, and you dumbass, airheaded, moronic hypocrites complain that the system is the way that it is, and you went into your case and you rolled with the system like everybody else. What the frick is wrong with you? And I could talk like that because when I didn't know what the hell I was doing, every time somebody told me something stupid like you'll get every other weekend or you can't do this or they can't do that, I said, F you, I'll go do it myself. And I did. And I didn't know whether I'd win, and I ended up winning. And I turned around and tell people, you can do this. I did it, and thousands of others, and they still said no. That's your loss. I'm not going to be fake. I'm going to keep it real.